a lot of reaction continues to roll in from everything surrounding the celebration in Tampa Bay. And did you guys see the Tampa Bay mayor said basically, hey, we need to conduct an investigation. There's a lot of details to dive into here for everybody out that was not wearing a mask in the celebrations. And then all the pictures come out of the Tampa Bay mayor at sporting events not wearing a mask herself. All of this absurd hypocrisy. The best response that I saw, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who's been on this program several times, was asked about why he was photographed in a suite watching the Super Bowl and not having a mask on. And he basically said, how in the world am I supposed to drink a beer if I'm wearing a mask? And it reminded me of, first of all, I hope that this is one of those trivia questions that we talk about years and years from now, because there is a lot of positivity out there, and I should share it. All of the data that has come out, we know that football can be played safely. So I actually feel bad for all the kids out there in California or New York or Virginia or Illinois, all these different states where they didn't allow the game to actually be played. I just shared this stat, but I think it's significant. The NFL put out their final results from COVID-19 testing yesterday. It came out, and they gave out 959,680 tests, only 262 players out of nearly 1 million tests ever tested positive. That is a tiny percentage overall. In fact, the NFL shared that their overall test positivity rate was far below what the average test positivity rate was in the nation as a whole. So, if you remember when they decided to play in the NFL and they were doing it outside of a bubble, everybody said, oh my goodness, this is impossible to do. And the NFL basically, alongside of Major League Baseball, proved that this was possible to do, such that it looks like Major League Baseball. If those of you out there, I know it's cold, lots of parts of the country, and we got a big cold front coming through over this weekend in many parts of the country, especially the East Coast. I know a lot of you out there are ready for spring, and it looks like Major League Baseball is going to be very, very normal in terms of what we expect to see from the season. And the pitchers and catchers are going to be reporting soon. And as soon as the pitchers and catchers get back, it's not too long until we've got summer to look forward to, or at least spring with decent weather. So I can't wait to go watch a Major League Baseball game, maybe even go down to preseason, take my kids, spring training that is, and watch some of those games early. But the reactions out there from the media continue to blow my mind. I know I shouldn't be surprised by it, but when you see all those data points, and it's been clear that not one single case of COVID was traced to any sport that has taken place anywhere in the world. Let me repeat that. We do not have a case of COVID moving from one team to another team during competition in any sport, basketball, baseball, football, hockey, any sport in the world right now. The NFL, which tested rigorously throughout the entirety of the season and figured out where these cases were emerging from because they were doing sort of an analysis of the virus so they could trace where exactly it came from, never ever saw the virus spread from one team to another. So the data out there is abundantly clear. You can play sports safely. It's been proven everywhere. And like I said, I feel bad for kids that are in states where they basically shut down and didn't allow those kids to play, because the data is readily clear. It's apparent. If you follow the science, sports should be going on. And look, my kids are playing basketball right now. I got signed up to coach baseball, which they needed coaches bad. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've coached a lot of years, and I got so many things on my plate right now. I was like, I don't think I can do it, but I'm coaching baseball again this fall. And by the way, I was coaching basketball over the weekend, and the two top coaches, the main coaches that are usually on the bench, were gone. And so I got called up on the bench. Our team hadn't lost. And I got to tell you, I was so incredibly nervous about losing a game. I was coaching with another coach, Brent Doherty. He does local radio as well here in Nashville, and our sons are on the team. And they hadn't lost so far this year. and we got down 12-4, and we had only scored 4 points through the first 15 minutes, and I was like, oh, my God, we are going to lose this basketball game. And the other guys who usually coach, one of them was out of town, the other one was quarantining on COVID protocol because his daughter had tested positive. I was like, oh, my God, we are going to lose this game, and it's going to be our fault. Teams played great all the way through. We show up to sit on the bench, and next thing you know, they've played 15 minutes and only scored 4 points. Now, fortunately, they came back and ended up winning by 14 points in the second half. But I was like, oh, my God. And the guys are watching, right? It's amazing technology. Their wives are there, and the wives are streaming the game so they can watch it and see everything that's happening, even though they're not able to be present there. And I was like, my goodness, we're going to lose this game. But the point on all this is the data is clear. All kids should be able to play, and I'm glad the NFL put out that data. But it's like every time somebody tests positive, and you just saw this at UNC. Did you see the story at UNC? The players beat Duke, one of the great rivalries, and it's not even positive tests anymore. It's pictures or videos of guys not wearing masks, and people lose their mind. So UNC beats Duke. UNC players starting to play decently down the stretch, starting to win some games. We all know how big the UNC-Duke rivalry is. And a couple of UNC players do what college kids tend to do. They go party, and what happens? The video, the pictures get taken, and UNC had to cancel their game on Monday night against Miami. And now, the whole schedule gets thrown a little bit out of whack, but all of it is crazy. The story of testing positive is a monster story. Everybody talks about it. And then we never hear anything when all these players and coaches come back and have no issue at all. And I just think it's a major, seminal, important achievement that should be talked about more instead of being worried about whether fans were celebrating without masks after Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl. I think a lot of people out there should be saying, man, what an incredible accomplishment for the NFL to manage to finish their season and have done it without a single major issue associated with it from a health perspective. No coaches, no players. To my knowledge, no fan super spreader events that everybody talked about. I went to 7 different NFL games over the course of the season, had no issues, and I'm ready to turn the page as these COVID numbers come down. I'm ready to turn the page and for us to get back to normalcy. Numbers keep coming down. Number of people getting vaccinated keeps going up. Very positive return to normalcy. I think by the time we get to legitimate spring, right, by the time we get to legitimate spring training games going on and into April and May, I think everything's going to be very much back to normal for people who want to get it back to normal. And I think your kids, wherever they are out there, they should be able to play baseball. They should be able to play softball. They should be able to play soccer, basketball, football, everything. And I think it's important to get kids back to playing. I mean, I've got a 6-year-old. He's a kindergartner. His season got stopped for baseball after a couple of practices, and he's so excited to get back on the field and be able to play, and I'm excited for him. And I think if Little League is going full speed, hopefully we're going to have Major League Baseball going full speed, and everybody's going to get back to very much in the sort of getting to normalcy.